In this lesson, we will focus on Cisco VTP configuration with Packet Tracer. VTP, VLAN Trunking Protocol, is a Layer 2 protocol. With VTP, we can control, create and delete VLANs from a central VTP server. There are 3 VTP modes. These are Server Mode, Client Mode and Transparent Mode. In this example, we will configure VTP Server Mode and VTP Client Mode. We will also talk about VTP Transparent Mode. Firstly, let's do the trunk configuration. Then, we will configure VTP modes of each switch. We will configure Fast Ethernet 0/1 interface as trunk port. We will configure trunk encapsulation as .1Q, and we will set the trunk with switch port mode trunk command. Now, we will configure the trunk port also on switch 1. And now we will do VTP config. Let's start with switch 1. We will set VTP mode of this switch as VTP Client. After that, we will write VTP domain name. Our VTP domain name is IP Cisco. Then we will configure VTP password ABC123. We will also configure VTP version as version 2. It is not accepted here because we set this switch as VTP Client. We can also enable VTP pruning, but here this command is not available. In Packet Tracer, we cannot use all Cisco iOS commands. Now let's configure our VTP server on switch 0. By default, all the switches are in VTP server mode, so we do not need to write VTP server, but I will write to show you the command. As you can see, it is saying device mode already VTP server. I will write a different domain name here to show you something. Let's set the domain name as Cisco. As you know, it is not our VTP domain name. Our domain name was IP Cisco. This caused a domain mismatch error, as you can see on the logs. Let's change the domain name as IP Cisco. We will use the same VTP password again. It is ABC123. Again, we will set VTP version 2. Now, one switch is in client mode and the other is in server mode. After this, whenever we create or modify VLAN in VTP server, the client will also create or modify that VLAN. Let's firstly verify this configuration. As you can see, there is no VLAN 10, 20, 30 here. And let's also check on switch 0. So let's create these VLANs here on VTP server switch. As you can see, these VLANs are created here. Let's check with show VLAN command. As you can see, created VLANs are here. And let's check the other switch, switch 1, VTP Client switch. As you can see, these VLANs are also created in this switch. Switch 0 is server and switch 1 is in client mode. Let's also verify VTP with VTP show commands. We will use show VTP status command here. With show VTP status command, we can see operational mode, domain name, pruning mode, VTP version, etc. We didn't talk about pruning here because its command is not supported on Packet Tracer. Let's also see the other options by writing show VTP ? As you can see, there are two options, show VTP counters and show VTP password. We can see our VTP password with show VTP passwords command, ABC123. Let's see the status on the other switch, switch 1. As you can see, this switch is client. The last VTP mode is transparent mode that we have not configured here. Transparent mode is generally used when you add a new switch to the network. Firstly, you set VTP mode of this switch as transparent. Because transparent mode does not affect from the VTP server. It does not synchronize its database, its VLAN database. It only creates its own VLANs and modifies its own VLANs. This is basically Cisco VTP configuration. Let's summarize our configuration steps. We have configured switch 0 as VTP server. After that, we have configured switch 1 as VTP client. Then, as an example, we have created some VLANs on VTP server switch, and we saw these created VLANs also in VTP client switch. This is basically Cisco VLAN Trunking Protocol configuration. If you like this video, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Good luck!